Over the years, I've heard a lot of homemakers and content creators talk about focusing on a home centered life where if you stay home, you create home. But in the summer, I get really stuck at home because it's so hot here in North Carolina. And I found for me that home centered approach doesn't really work. In fact, it just sort of wears me out. What I like about this time of year is that we are out and about and we are doing things and we aren't just centered at home, which makes these moments at home feel more focused and more meaningful, and it becomes more desirable to do things like make food from scratch, create everyday beauty, and create this cozy environment that I crave for myself and for my family. I am prepping a couple sourdough pie crusts for a sourdough chicken pot pie, which I'll show you how to make later in this video. But what I like about a sourdough pie crust, for instance, is that you can make it up to 3 days in advance. I usually stick the butter in the freezer for at least 30 minutes before I plan on making the pie dough. And then once it's nice and cold, I shred it on a box grater and then put it back into the freezer until I make the rest of the pie dough. So that way it stays nice and cold while I'm getting the other ingredients together. I need a double pie crust, so I am doubling this recipe. So that was 2 sticks of frozen butter, and then I'm putting in 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of granulated sugar. Then I'm cutting that frozen butter back into those dry ingredients and adding in the sourdough starter. So I actually ended up not having enough sourdough starter, but luckily something like a pie dough is really forgiving. So I needed a cup of starter. I probably had around 3/4 of a cup. So I made up the difference with a little bit of ice water, which can help bring that dough together. And that cold water is pretty important because that keeps the butter nice and cold because you don't want that butter to melt and start incorporating with the flour. Otherwise, your pie crust won't be as flaky. These pie crusts can sit in the fridge for up to 3 days, possibly even more. And what's cool about that is that it also long ferments those grains. But what I like even more than even that long fermentation is that by prepping this in advance, I can stay home centered without being home. I have pie dough ready to go for dinner the next day, so I can do other things that I need to do or that I want to do, activities with my family that we enjoy during fall, but still we have something homemade and scratch made waiting for us. A golden, beautiful sourdough chicken pot pie is nostalgic and is a really practical and useful way to create everyday beauty in your home. But at least for me, if I'm not making it in steps and stages, it becomes too cumbersome and it becomes too much work and I don't get it done. But if I focus on one piece at a time, one part of my home at a time, one part of my meal at a time, it comes together in the end in a way where I can create that sense of everyday beauty, where I do feel like I'm focused on some sort of home centered lifestyle, but I'm not stuck in that grind all of the time. Home life sometimes can seem really repetitive and mundane because it is. It seems like you might not be doing much, but what you're really doing often are little parts of the day that set the stage for later, like filling up a flour container so that way you have flour when you're making dinner that night, or just folding the laundry so that way it's easier to find things when you need it. There's this constant movement of small tasks that create the larger picture over time. And by doing more small tasks rather than a bunch of large ones at one time, I find it easier to enjoy my time at home and I find my homemaking tasks a little bit more palatable. Here I am feeding my sourdough starter, and lately I have been feeding my sourdough starter mostly all purpose. When I have extra fresh milled flour on hand, I will just throw it right into my starter. But with fresh milled flour, there is an increased chance of mold. If you've made 100% fresh milled flour bread, you've probably found that it molds really quickly, at least compared to other types of bread. And that's because that fresh milled flour has more oil in it. Of course, that's not to suggest that if you give your starter fresh milled flour, it will mold. It just could mold, and I'm just not in the mood to deal with that right now. So I'm giving my starter all-purpose flour. But with that said, a lot of you have reached out and asked me why I make fresh milled flour content, but still use all-purpose flour in some of my recipes. And really, it's because I try not not to take an all or nothing approach in my life or in my offerings. I want people to be able to show up and enjoy making bread, enjoy these parts of homemaking and everyday beauty, even if you don't have a grain mill, even if you're not interested in making fresh milled flour. Because I think sometimes when we start getting too focused on these ideas of home centered or just fresh milled flour, it becomes dogmatic and we forget about the other parts of our life that we enjoy. It's the same thing as when I feel stuck at home in the summertime, just staring at the yellow wallpaper, so to speak. If you can't get out and branch out a little bit and enjoy the other parts of life, being at home, doing the things that you need to do, just aren't as enjoyable. So, with that said, I am converting my all purpose flour pumpkin spice pancake recipe to a fresh milled flour recipe so we have breakfast for the week. To make that conversion, I recommend, at least for pancakes, using a soft white wheat and then increasing the amount of flour by a quarter cup per cup of all-purpose flour called for in the recipe. So for instance, the all-purpose version of this recipe over on my blog calls for 2 cups of all-purpose flour, but for the fresh milled version, you would increase that to 2.5 cups of flour. I made a large batch of these pancakes so that way we can eat them for a few days, and that way we can have some sort of cozy, fall-inspired breakfast that is really beautiful and delicious, but I don't have to make it every single morning. With cooler days, I always feel reinvigorated to get outside and spruce up the outside of my house a little bit. So I have a small sort of autumn and Halloween inspired vignette in my front yard, but I bought a couple of mums and I was looking up how to keep mums looking fresh and blooming for a long time. And what I thought was really interesting is that it mentioned that even though they do like full sun, the full sun can actually bleach the flowers. So if you move them somewhere in partial sun, they'll do a little bit better. And what's kind of interesting is the two that I have in partial sun are actually doing great. And the one that gets a little bit more sun looks okay. And I always thought that maybe I just didn't have a green thumb for mums, but I actually think I've been putting them in too much sun for most of my life. These little witch hats are a super easy way to decorate for Halloween, but they don't take much effort. We just use the little command strips with the hook on it and put them on the ceiling of our porch and then just use like a clear fishing line and threaded it through the top of the hat. And it took just a couple of minutes to hang them and they look super cute too. Okay, it is time to at least get started a little bit on this sourdough chicken pot pie. So the sourdough pie crusts have been in the fridge for over 24 hours. And in the morning, I am making the chicken in the Instant Pot. So I'm just taking a whole chicken, putting in a cup of water, and then also seasoning it with some salt and pepper. One thing that really helps with this is to get one of those little trivet racks with the handles that just makes it really easy to pull the chicken out when it's finished cooking. For a fresh chicken like this, you would just cook it for 6 minutes per pound. So this was a 5-pound chicken, so I cooked it for 30 minutes. You can also cook a frozen chicken in the Instant Pot. I have instructions for that over my blog at moonandmagnolia.com. I will leave a link for that in the description box. It's basically the same process. You just have to cook it for longer. But by getting the pie crust done the day before and the chicken done in the morning, that means in the evening, all I have to do is just cook the veggies and assemble the pot pie. So it creates a really cozy and delicious dinner, but it doesn't require a lot of hands-on work at one time. Of course, no matter how much everyday beauty we want to create or how much we don't want a home-centered life sometimes, there are things we have to do that aren't always the most exciting, like laundry and folding kitchen towels and doing those sorts of things. These home-centered tasks for me require a shift in my inner dialogue. Rather than being annoyed that I have to fold the kitchen towels, I just remind myself that if I fold the kitchen towels and I put them away, my life will be so much easier later on. If I wipe down the counters, my life will feel so much easier when it comes time to make dinner. And if I do something really simple like light a candle, it just feels better being in that space. I like being home. I love staying home with my daughter, and it is a great privilege to do so. but that doesn't mean that I always love every part of it. So it is okay if we have to give ourselves a pep talk sometimes. Okay, it is time to make dinner, and I am finally assembling and baking this sourdough chicken pot pie. One thing I do to make dinner time easier is I make dinner earlier in the day. And something like a pot pie or a casserole really lends itself to that because they taste better as they've been sitting around. But that way, by making it a little bit earlier, the evening doesn't feel so hectic because we always need to get outside and get some energy out. And then there's bath time, story time, all the evening things. And trying to make dinner within that is pretty complicated. So it works for my schedule to make it in the late afternoon. But in any case, I am picking that chicken, chopping up some carrots, celery, and onion, and sauteing them in butter, and then pouring in about a third of a cup of flour and cooking it, and then adding in about a cup and a half of chicken broth. I seasoned it with thyme, sage, and celery seed, and just the smallest pinch of nutmeg. That nutmeg is the secret ingredient. You really just want a tiny little pinch. Too much will just overpower it, but that little bit of nutmeg adds some depth of flavor that's almost unrecognizable, but really delicious. And just as a side note, anytime you're making like a milk-based or a cream-based sauce like that, you can add a little pinch of nutmeg. It's really good. But in any case, then I added in some milk and then the chicken and some peas, and then set it aside to cool while I rolled out the pie dough and assembled the chicken pot pie. In the past, I have always used an egg wash on my pies, but this time I tried a heavy cream wash and I liked it much better. It definitely doesn't get as shiny and it goes on a little more evenly because the egg wash has some water in it, and that water tends to sit on top of that buttery pie dough. So then it gets a little thick in some places and thin in others. So this worked much better. I baked this for about 40 minutes at 425 degrees. My husband and I both agreed this is one of the best things I've ever made. It is delicious. But by making the parts in a few bite-sized pieces over the course of a couple days, it was really manageable to put this together in the afternoon for dinner later that day. And I know this sounds really simple and maybe even a little weird, but I told my husband after we ate dinner that it's something like a pot pie sitting on the counter like that that makes me feel really at home and feel really good about the work I did that day. And that's the sort of home centeredness that I really appreciate and value, the type where I feel really good about my work at the end of the day, where I don't feel depleted, but I feel like we had something really beautiful, nourishing, and comforting. Okay, so I planned on making Instant Pot apple butter because apple butter and cottage cheese is one of my all-time favorite breakfasts for fall. But we had a power outage, so I wasn't able to finish the recipe. But to make Instant Pot apple butter, you can get the recipe over my blog. But you would just chop up some apples. You can peel them or leave the peels on. And then you put in 3/4 cup of brown sugar, 3/4 cup of white sugar, some vanilla, a pinch of salt, and a half a cup of water. And then you simply just cook it in the Instant Pot for 15 minutes and then let it do a natural release. And then if you have electricity, you would usually take an immersion blender and blend it up until it's smooth. And then if you prefer, reduce it on the stove top until it is your desired thickness. But I ended up hand mashing this, and now we have apple butter flavored applesauce, and it is still very delicious. These are some of the things we have been enjoying this fall and some of the ways that I am trying to balance the necessities of the home-centered life with also one outside of the home. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you again next time.